magic. You saw the magic. Got a magic. Who was that? Living legend. Lethal weapon. Mastermind. Never tried. Tell them all.
Welcome to the second video of the video series for the German National Championship. I'm Simon, and today I invited a good friend of mine, podcast co-host and very good player, that's why he's invited, Tino. Tino, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Tino Kornitzky, also known as Sereno on the internet. I'm mostly known for playing my favorite commander Kinnan in Europe. I think I've been on some of the more popular American cEDH podcasts like Bite-Sized MTG or the Vinanen podcast with Max Pfefferman before. And today I'm happy to be invited by my friend Simon for this interview.
Happy to have you here. Which commander are you mainly playing at the moment?
I'm playing Kinnan. It's been my deck since I basically started cEDH. I think it's one of the best commanders if you want to play a mid-range game and also sort of win by outplaying your opponents instead of just having the better hand, which is what that deck allows you to do. Usually if you play well enough, you can win or draw any pot you play, I think.
Why is it in your opponent the best deck or the best deck suited for you?
I think it's very flexible in what it does. You can play a lot of different versions of Kinnan, and it's very resilient. Even if your early draw engine gets countered, or you're in a pod where you're usually not supposed to do anything because there's a lot of turbo decks, you can most likely still do something if you play your cards right.
If you wake up tomorrow and your commander gets banned, which would you play?
This is a bit of a hot take, but I would play Hidetsugu and Kairi.
What is your biggest cEDH hot take?
I think the European meta makes it so that what we consider as the best decks from a US perspective, that being Trimnacrom or Kinnan, or maybe even Rockishai, aren't the best decks in the format. I think in Europe the best decks in the format are Roxai, Thrasios via Smasher, and any 5-color commander.
What do you think is, in your opinion, the most overplayed commander?
I think the most overplayed commander right now is Etali. I think if you're looking to perform well at a tournament, I don't think Etali gives you the best chances. That deck just loses to itself or the opponent's keeping responsible hands so easily. I think it's very fun, but I don't think it's a good choice if you're trying to win the tournament.
What is the biggest gameplay error that you see in other players, especially in newer ones?
It's something I actually did myself quite recently in a tournament. It's the tapping out for a value engine right before the crucial turn of the game happens. Like you tap out for a Smothering Tithe or some mana dorks right before the game gets decided, and then you don't have the mana to end up casting your interaction or your Final Fortune and lose the game that you could have drawn or won otherwise.
Which card is a sleeper pick, so which is way stronger than everybody considers it, or which is underplayed?
I think Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff, is probably as good as Smothering Tithe, personally, and I think people don't treat it as such.
100% agree, by the way. I love turn 1 Lotho. It's my favorite play in TNK. I love turn 1 Lothos. It's my favorite thing to do. What 3 cards are your favorite cards to see in the opening hand, separate from each other? So not like in combination Dark Ritual and Necropotence, but separate.
I think it's Commandeer for sure. It's Basalt Monolith. I'm a Kinnan player, but that was obviously going to be one of the 3. And for the last one, I have to think. Probably it's Chrome Mox. Yeah.
We are talking today a lot about how the meta is evolving and how to be successful in the meta at the moment. So how would you describe the meta at the moment?
Yeah. I think the meta is in a very different spot than we currently see it everywhere else, like in the US. I think we're in a meta where, due to the time changes in Europe, moving rounds to 75 minutes, we are in a meta where being able to win proactively very consistently is very important. So decks like Esika or Thrasios Fire Smasher are currently doing very, very good. That we don't really see as much in the US, even though we still do. I think these decks are very good at being sort of the I'll push second decks, or being the decks that can vary their game plan according to the pot composition very well, even if they might not have the strongest aspect of playing mid-range or playing turbo at all times. I think this flexibility is very, very important at the moment, and I think these decks, we will keep seeing them pop up everywhere.
So the meta is defined by by turbo, obviously, but with turbo threats you exactly know when and how to counter them. When should you counter a heuristic study or a similar value engine?
Definitely on turn 1 if someone has it in seed 1, but more so I would say if you can afford to counter the heuristic without losing the game, it's pretty much always correct to do so, or at least to force your opponent to use resources to defend their draw engine, especially if you have one of your own. If you have your own heuristic study or your own Esper Sentinel and whatever, and you can just afford casting a Pyroblast on the heuristic study, it saves you a lot of trouble later, because every resource that isn't your own, even if you can politic with the person, probably isn't going to be used at your benefit at the end of the day. So I think you should do it a lot more than it's currently being done.
What do you think about the meta at the moment? Is it getting faster or is it getting slower? You can consider the German meta as well as the international meta, because you play a lot of international matches on webcam Magic as well.
Yeah, I think the German meta is definitely getting faster. I see a lot of players that I've previously seen on Sisei and Gymnacrom switch to Roxai and even Kodo in some cases. Also, I consider that deck very dubious. I have to say, it's like it's gotten a lot faster due to time constraints, and also people sort of figuring out, okay, I probably can't beat Kinnan or Rockishai at the mid-range game in 75 minutes ever, so why should I try? I should just try to win my own game in my own way. I think internationally the meta is like as mid-rangey as always. My friend Jace recently topped the mid-season invitational on Rock Ishai, which I think is a deck that's coming out right now, leading the meta to slow down even more. I think this is not what we're seeing here, but I think that's where the international meta is going to stay for a bit, where pretty much the bigger your mid-range deck can go, the better it is.
Interesting. So what would you say, how important is it actually as of today to have like a player image at the table, so to convince to have an, how do you call it, persona?
Yeah, I think I like to talk about this a lot. I think it's very important to have a sort of image that you can be trusted. Like, let's for example say early in the game you made the deal to only use the Wishclaw to grab interaction, and then you grab some sort of culling ritual to try to win the game, and it got countered. Probably the rest of the game people aren't gonna trust you with decisions like that anymore. So I think it's very important to keep a player image of being trustworthy and keeping up your word, and also not trying to let's say angle shoot every last bit out of your opponents, because then they will just pay extra attention to what you're doing and maybe even counter a spell that they otherwise wouldn't have. I think it's very important to sort of keep yourself out of harm's way that way, which is basically player image as a concept.
Thank you very much, Tino. Thanks for answering all the questions. And yeah, I'm happy to see you at the German Nationals.
Hope to see you there too.
Thanks, I will be there.